And we're rolling.
With winning Aspley coach John Blair, John got the job done today.
Yeah, it was a long day. No, it was okay. We had opportunity early, I reckon, to put a big gap between us, and we didn't do that, and we kept them alive. And while you're keeping them alive, their belief grows, and they took it right up to us in the last quarter and give us a bit of a fright there for 5 minutes or so.
They certainly did. Their young players came to the fore, but I've got to mention a couple of your young players, Gribble and Farron, who did some really good things. Tell me about their development.
Farron especially, he's a guy that came to us through the army, really. So he's been good. He was at our QFA side the last year or so, but now that he's more committed with time and effort, he's been good. Gribble's a kid who 3-4 years ago was in promising at the state 18 level. He's had a couple of years there. He found it a bit tough last year and went back to Sandgate full time, and then this year he's worked his way. He's lost a lot of weight, runs and carries the ball a lot better, and his decision making and his use has been pretty good. So he's been good for us the last month or so.
Some good development for the young guys. Now you've got a bye next week. How do you handle that with three, let's say, reasonably close wins?
Yeah, it's probably good for us in some respects. But at the same time, we've got quite a few guys now that are looking to get their way back into the side, and Jordan Burke, Hutchie, Argy, John Williams. So we've got a few there that are really pushing for selection, and we have to try and somehow get a workload into them to get them up and fit, ready for the last game of the season, or if not, then for the first week of the finals. And so it makes it a bit tough in that how many can you bring in at one time, and how much game fitness have they got in them, and things like that. So are they going to be battle hardened enough? I'd like to have an extra run if we could, but that's the cards we've got. And for some of the other players, it's probably really good to get a rest. So it'll be fine.
So where you're sitting on the ladder now, you're looking at second spot. That's the spot you're fighting for. Does it play on your mind about a couple of percentage points that might be required to nail down that spot?
Certainly it does, because then we control our own destiny. At the moment now, we're hoping, relying on Sydney Swans or Southport tomorrow, even Canberra next week to do a number on Sydney Uni. So if that happens, we then finish a game in front. If not, well, it becomes a percentage battle, and we certainly didn't do ourselves any favours today with that scoreline.
We mentioned kicking just prior to having a chat. Now, the goal kicking has been a small issue for Aspley. How do we rectify that? Do we get it back on the track?
Oh, we'll try and work on it at training and whatever. But it's an amazing thing. Sometimes you see a game go and a side will be 10 goals 2, and then over the course of the game it'll balance out at 12 goals 10 or something like that. So it's a pretty fickle thing, goal kicking, and for some reason one bad one seems to start a domino effect, and players miss shots that they shouldn't miss, or you hit the post 4 times or whatever seems to happen. So but for us, the pleasing part is that we are generating shots, and we are generating inside 50s, and if we do that often enough and can keep it in there, then we'll certainly get enough scoring opportunities to win games.
At the other end of the ground, tell us about your defence structure. Jackson Allen, Jack Stanley, Doug Lawrence, who I thought really battled hard back in the game today. Ben Waite was a very difficult opponent, but Dougie didn't give up.
Yeah, I don't think people realise how good a player Ben Waite is. He's a very good competitor. He's pretty quick, got good hands, and he got on top of Dougie early. The first 15 minutes, I reckon Dougie struggled, but after that, he got him back under control, defended well, and then got his hands on it a fair bit and was able to use it himself. So Doug's there. Jackson, well, he's had a really good year. Been a really good pickup for us. And then Jack Stanley, well, he just puts in and week out. So he's been good. Young Henderson's been good. he's certainly come along. You know, we've now got to work out, I suppose, now that we've had Grossi back for 3 weeks, we've got a little bit more match conditioning into him. It's a bit easier to do it when they're up in the forward line rather than the back line. And
So you'll see him as a move back to the back
I think
line?
you know that'll be more the situation that he'll probably, you know, he's been the best defender in the comp for the last 2 or 3 years, so we know he can go forward. So that's a card that we can play during the course of a game if we want to play it. Then you know you got Hutchie to come back in as a definite. Jordan Burke, who come to us from the Lions as a defender. Matty Argus as a defender. So there's some defence stocks there. It's now a matter of whether they're all got enough, as I said, enough games or minutes into their system to actually be putting them all in together. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to be an intriguing end to the season. Good luck with the bye and good luck with the final round against the Gold Coast.
Okay, thanks very much, Mike.